Why hello there! Today we are going to do the DNF tag. I saw this over on Pax Panic's channel and I thought it sounded like a cool one to do. And Pax has never DNF'd a book. I, on the other hand, have. I will link her channel down below as well as the video of the DNF tag that she did. So let's get into it. The first question is, do you DNF? Yes, I do. It's not often, and it's more of a rare occurrence that I do. This year, nothing so far, but it's only February. Last year, I DNF'd 3 books. 2 were because they're not my genre of reading. One was a romance that tricked me. I thought it was gonna be like dark fantasy. It was called Dark Tarot, and it didn't really say on it that it was a romance. I saw it at the library. I am into stuff like that, and I didn't know it was a romance, so I DNF'd that one because it was really cringy and awful. And then another one I picked up because I liked the cover. It had like lips and a cigarette, and it was pink. I think the pink should have tipped me off, and that one was not. I DNF'd that too because it was also like a romance and I didn't like it. And another one had like something in it that was just too triggering for me to read, so that one I DNF'd. So it's like very few and far between. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever DNF'd a horror or a thriller. I don't know about fantasy. I feel like I haven't, but I'm not 100% sure. Question number 2. If you DNF a book, does it count towards books read for the month? No, because you didn't read it. How can it count if you didn't finish it? That's just weird. It must be complete to count as being read. At least in my brain. I don't know how you rationalize it otherwise, because you're wrong. Question number 3. Is there a difference between DNF and just putting it down for a bit? I think there's a huge difference. DNF is like, you're not gonna go back, you're done, finito. Putting it down for a bit, you plan on returning to it and reading it at some point in time, just maybe it's not the right time, maybe you weren't vibing with it at that moment, or just you're not in a good mental space for it, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back at some point. So that's completely different. Although sometimes you might not get to it because new books keep coming out and there's so many distractions and Booktube's like, look at all these awesome books. So then maybe you don't get to it. But if you intend to go back, that's definitely different than just not at all. Number 4. What popular book have you DNF'd? I don't think I've DNF'd any popular books. Not that I can think of. Like I said, it's a very rare occurrence when I DNF. And it's usually if I'm reading outside the genres that I really like when I try to like stick my toe in romance here and there. And then sometimes I get tricked into reading a romance book because I didn't pay too much. Well, no, it wasn't even tricked. Like Dark Tarot didn't say anything about it being a romance, but I should have delved more deeply into it. Anyway, what book do you wish you had DNF'd? I don't wish I had DNF'd any specific book because if I wanted to DNF it, I did. So there's nothing I'm like, God, this was so horrible. I can't think of a book that was like drudgery that I wish I would have not read. Do you ever reattempt to read a DNF? Has this ever been successful for you? I have never attempted to read a DNF. Why? I don't know why I would. For me, like a DNF is very final. It's very, I wasn't enjoying it. It was torture to read. I stopped. So no, it's never been successful for me. What do you do with the books you DNF? I either donate them or sometimes they're just from the library, so I would return them to the library. You know, you could put it in the little free library. My actual library, they have a slot where you can just don't chuck them, but you put donation books. Just chuck them in there. We want them to be nice for the next people that read them. Someone else might love a book that I hate, so I would like to put it back out into the world where maybe someone can find joy in a book that I personally cannot, because we're all different. We all have different tastes. You know, what's gonna vibe with me is not gonna vibe with you, and so back and forth, or maybe it will. You know, it just all depends. Do you choose more or less risky titles because of your stance on DNF? I don't know what it means by risky titles. If I read a romance, there's a risk I'm probably going to DNF it. I wouldn't say that's a title. It's more of a genre thing. And I'm the person that goes, and if a title catches my eye, and then I read the synopsis and it sounds interesting, I'll just pick it up. I'm not going to not pick it up because if it sounds interesting, I want to read it. So I don't think so. If you are a fan of tag videos, the next video coming up will be another tag video. So stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, hit that subscribe button. Come back and see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.